Welcome to Bold Talks series where creativity, leadership, ideas, innovation come together. My name is Epi Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Luke Ireland, CEO and co-founder of Creventa. Luke, great seeing you. Welcome to our Bold Talks series. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. The sun's shining. It's a busy time of the year for us. That's really good.
That's great. Love when the sun shines, right? Mood is always great. People are energetic. Summertime, well, it's coming to an end, right? And so truly exciting time of the year. And it was so great to connect with you. And I was looking forward to this conversation because you're in one industry that is it's been around for a long, long time. And when you think back to your earliest connection with hospitality, what's that one moment that made you realize you wanted to dedicate yourself to improving this industry from the inside out? And this is the event industry.
Sure. So I used to work my previous company, working in my now co-founders restaurant. And I saw the systems that were being used, and they were just, hospitality has a really raw deal when it comes to technology. And I saw systems that were being used and said, look, we've got to do better than this. And we sat down and made a plan, and now we're here where we are.
Nice. Now, take us through this journey. So Creventa wasn't born in a boardroom, but in the middle of real high pressure events. Can you take us that into original moment when that spark for Creventa truly?
Yeah, sure, for sure. So yeah, we had a business prior to the pandemic, which went under because there was no sales in the hospitality business at the start of the pandemic. We looked, we were around the middle of March 2020, and I realised that at table ordering will be required because of the distances that are required but you can see coming. And we started off actually, we started doing a QR code order at table system. Again, to help in my co-founder's restaurant, but then also we expanded that as the time went on. But we launched that 4th of July when the pubs reopened in the UK. It was a restaurant reopened on 4th of July 2020 with about 15, 16 different venues using us. And then we expanded that to many hundred over the course of the next few months and years. Coming out of the pandemic, QR code order at table works for some venues. It works for venues with outdoor space, and there's certain reasons why it works. For most venues, it doesn't work. So we went back, to going to event management, which is what we came from before. Co-founder ran a events venue for 17 years. So it doesn't work anymore. So we looked at how we could design events management software that really would be, useful to a venue like his, and then into other venues that we sell to, mainly hotels, but sports stadiums and those sort of venues.
Nice. So launching a platform serving these independent hotels, obviously there's a lot of coverage on that on your side. And when you look at, for example, the decision and the risk that you have to take in early days, what is that one thing that make you, or you knew that could make or break the company, and how do you overcome?
Yeah, sure. So we had to make the decision to really go very aggressively with some new clients just to really get some customers. It's an industry that's relying on references and seeing systems working elsewhere. So we sat down with Malmaison Hotel de Vannes, which one of our previous clients, my previous business, and said, look, we've got this new idea to do this product. Will you go with us on this journey? We'll give you a great price to start off with. And that was the moment, because that's sort of from 0 to 37 venues in one fell swoop using an events management system. We learned a lot from them. We learned how to mold our system, and then that helped us take it into other venues around the UK and Ireland and beyond. Actually, so it was a real pivotal moment. Getting the first customers is always difficult. It's a leap of faith, right? That you've developed a system that's going to do what they want. And hospitality is a very now business, so if you don't get it right, if it had been a failure, then that would have been it for us.
Yeah. I can imagine. And the hospitality business is super busy and all that stuff. So if you don't get it right in the beginning, it's very hard to bring it back. Now, Luke, so I saw somewhere that your claim is that you cut event planning time by 70%. Is that correct?
Absolutely, 100%. Or 70%. We do, yeah, but absolutely right. That's right. Yeah.
100%. I love this. Tell me about the first client who truly experienced this wow moment for them. I mean, to have that set up to 70% of the planning time, I know what it takes because I've done in my life, I've probably done like over 500 events, but it's crazy, right? It's like it's a really big number, right?
Yeah, and that's all about getting information from the guests. We're talking about food order management, pre-order management, allergens, those sort of seating plans, those sort of things. The things where you can't do them yourself, you need the feedback from the guests or the hosts of the event. And they spend a lot of time waiting for that information or chasing that information. And that's where our system really comes in. So that's where the venues like Malmaison really do see that benefit, where they say, we set the event up, we set the host up on the system, the host then basically does the work and it passes on to the guests, etc., etc. Then it comes back with all their orders, with their allergen and dietary preference information, any pre-orders for drinks, etc., etc. The seating plan, all of that's then in our system without any effort from the hotel, from the venue, which means they can produce reports instantly. So if you imagine, some of our venues are holding up to 1,200 guests at a conference dinner. Imagine having to write out or type out 1,200 place cards, getting all those names right, getting all those orders right. Now it's just instantaneously printed in one click of one button, and that's based on all that data has come from the guests. It's not to be entered by hotel staff. So massive savings from that point. So it's typically 70%. That's a real figure that we hear time and time again.
Amazing. Now, I think I can categorize it as a SaaS business, I would say, in hospitality industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Running a fast SaaS business in hospitality industry means leading a team through constant change. What's been your most challenging leadership decision when the right call wasn't the easy one for you?
For me, it's all about people, and that's always can be great, joyous, but also can be a challenge. In certain roles where you need to identify, is someone going to be successful, and even if they might effectively be your friend or your close colleague or whatever else, it's quite difficult to make that decision if they're not performing and you've worked with them and tried to get it right. Sometimes you tend to hang on to those people longer than you should, and it's hard because you know them and they've got a life and they've got a family or whatever they've got. But if you give them a chance and they succeed, then I think you have to really bite that. We're a small business. We're not a large multinational. We can't carry people. And I think that's true of any small business. You've really got to take that decision really quickly. If someone needs to go, and then they need to go.
Yeah. What about alignment? Having a team and, focus on the high performance, how important the alignment is to have a high performing team to make sure that the innovations happen in product. And what are you doing in terms of alignment in your side, for example?
The key thing for us is to make sure that everyone in the company knows what our vision is, which is to build an end-to-end event management platform. The alignment, I guess, comes from more of our customers and trying to make sure that we're balancing the demands of our customers in terms of features, some of which they can talk about wanting, some of which we're telling them they need, and working at giving a limited development resource, making sure that the sales and the development team are aligned properly so that we're getting the right feedback from customers. So quite often, our head of product will be on sales calls, listening to what customers are saying, listening to their challenges, also telling them about new features and explaining how they might work in their environment. So that's the real key alignment for us, is the sales and product development side, making sure that we're releasing the right figures on time, because you can release a feature which you think is great, but if no one's willing to pay for it, then it's not worth anything to us. So we always focus on, right, what are the features that we have bug fixes and we have minor reports and stuff we need to do. People, that's typical business, SaaS business. But in terms of the new features, what features are we going to release that are going to really drive revenue? That's where the real alignment comes for us, because if venues find it useful, it will drive revenue.
Yeah. Talk about feedback. Have you had a moment when feedback from a customer completely shifted your vision for the product?
We listen to our customers all the time, as I said. We are we do more for our product to see fit these of our customers, but also, new features which might come. So, for example, we have a very very large football stadium that's been a client of ours for a long time, Premier League football team. They had started having a number of their venue, starting to have pop concerts at their venue, and they needed a system to manage that box catering, the catering for the VIP guests, etc. They're already a client of ours on some other parts of our system. So we actually wrote a brand new module just for this one customer initially, and now it's been sold to multiple venues. So really, we had an idea which on paper made no sense, let's develop this module that we have one customer for. But, you then think, well, actually, if we do it successfully for them, then we've got lots of other opportunities. That's generally where we tend to take a guidance from, and took us to an area, box catering, which we never thought about doing. It's not even a thing we spoke. They said, you're doing this stuff, other stuff great for us. Can you do this for us? And if you do this for us, then there's this market. So yeah, that was a real change in it, in the direction of part of our business. A need we didn't even know it existed. It's great.
Yeah. Now, events have always been about creating moments people remember. In your view, what's the secret ingredient that turns an event from well-run to an unforgettable experience?
I think that people tend to forget that the beginning and the end are the most important things of any event. And yet, if you think about traditional event planning, a lot of the event planning goes on about the bit in the middle. So if the guest arrives and they say they've got an allergy, say they're allergic to shellfish, or they sit down, they're worrying about it because, quite often that's not communicated at the venue properly. It's a real challenge. 14% of people have a dietary preference or an allergen. Allergens can kill people. So you've got that mindset. So if you sit down at an event, when I spoke to Creventa, they'll sit down. First of all, they've been communicating prior to the event that they've recognised the allergen and they're dealing with it. Secondly, when they sit down, it'll say on their place card that Luke's got a shellfish allergy. They know that I've got one. The waiting staff, etc. So that initial impression is really, really important. I think people will be amazed how much that lasts. And then the last bit of the event, which is like the high level of entertainment. That's great. But also then, can you get a taxi home? How long do I have to wait for my cloakroom stuff to be returned, which we don't deal with? But I think it's really to focus on that those beginning and end bits. Of course, focus on a bit of it. Great food, great entertainment, the whole lot, of course, really important. But people remember their arrival and what happened on departure.
Yeah. Yeah, really good point. You made a really good point also with the cards for the allergies. We do, with Bold Awards, we do our annual gala dinner, which we have about 200 people. It's a black tie event and it's very elegant. We really never missed any of the we took it very seriously. Allergies, communicated that as well, but we never done the cards. So you really gave me really great ideas. Having the cards in a table where they're sitting, it's so amazing because now they feel they're being covered and they don't have to ask anymore.
Yeah, and our place cards are actually designed so that we have special markings on the cards that the serving staff can see directly that someone's got next to their name that they've got an allergen, then the details of the allergen are below it. So, the serving staff, it really helps the serving staff as well deliver without that embarrassing, oh, you're the one with the shellfish allergy, or you're the one with that, it's a really quite a straightforward system from that point of view.
Look, so this is great and exciting, and I think you're into something really interesting and really valuable for a lot of events out there. If I can ask you, what does the word bold mean to you? As a word,
repeat that question. I didn't hear that. What?
What does the word bold mean to you?
Bold. Okay. I think being bold means confident in what you're doing and having the ambition and confidence to go out there and tell the world what you're doing, which is what we do every day. Amazing.
Luke, Ireland, thank you for joining me. Sorry for getting someone else. I'm doing recording all day today, but it was great to have you, and looking forward to seeing you again. Until that time, take care, be great, and be bold always. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Tyler. You take care. Bye-bye.